Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Warp, the completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast where we do unasked for audio commentaries of Star Trek episodes. My name is Sean.
My name is Matt.
I'm Jake.
Philippe.
Erin.
And me.
I'm Minh. Sorry, May.
And extra special guest May.
We got extra special guest
I know how the whole intro works.
This is not just a regular episode, Sean.
We're doing a special quarantine episode of Warp because we're all in different houses right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the first of many of these, I think.
I'm actually in one of your guys' houses right now. I'm not going to tell you which one till the end.
Damn.
If this
It's
works,
like Parasite.
we'll probably be doing this for a while. So we're hoping this works. We're all on Skype and we're watching with Netflix Party. So have a Netflix party with us all. So today we are watching Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 4, The Last Outpost. I got 45 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock, and I'm punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch.
Yeah.
Netflix Party Edition, go.
Thanks.
And so we're here.
Punch everywhere at the same time. That was fancy.
I punched the triangle in our. We're watching it. We're dual casting this shit on my end.
Because my peepers can't read that. So
well, as long as you're fairly close, it should be pretty good. So how's everybody surviving the quarantine?
We're still alive.
What quarantine?
Have you guys been making your own masks yet?
No,
I just
not yet.
Yeah.
I don't think
guess
we're
I
fast
do,
yet.
and I do not know how to sew.
Just the ones I was making beforehand, but for other sexual deviances.
We go
Can't
out.
you just, Can't you
We
just
tie
wear like a t-shirt over your face or something?
Bandana
We
is
tie
what they're-
bandanas around our face so we look like 18th century bank robbers.
Yeah.
I think Jordy's got his eyes covered there. He's like, he ain't gonna get no
Yeah, I'm just gonna put a banana clip on my mouth.
19th century bank robbers.
Sure, right, yeah. 1800s bank robbers. That better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just
Real-time
imagining
corrections corner.
I was just imagining 18th century bank robbers,
with their,
running around colonial
with their powdered
Virginia.
wigs.
with their powdered wigs.
Robin Hood?
No, that would have been 14th century.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is this is the first episode with the Ferengi, which is a new alien species we haven't met yet.
Erin didn't seem happy about
I
that.
one of those earlier. Do they have weird facial features?
Yep.
They all do.
Well, most of the aliens do. As you see Mr. Worf there, he's got weird facial features.
Erin was not impressed by the glimpse that she got so far.
Erin, do you remember who all of the people?
Tiger King for this.
Do you remember who all the people are, Erin? Like,
Jordy.
who's that? Who's the blonde girl?
It's been
Bing
too long.
Crosby's granddaughter.
Yeah,
That's right.
Wow, you remember her.
You remember that?
Yeah. She's got
I forgot I was gonna make you a little cheat sheet, and I forgot to do it, so that you would have it to refer to as to who all these people are. Sorry,
May, since you're joining us for the first time with Next Generation, what's your experience with Next Generation?
It was probably the one I watched the most. Picard is my captain, I would say, out of all the eras of Star Trek. And and we actually totally binged Picard after we just finished it last week or something. And so it was like crazy to see these dudes like all old and Picard being all old Picard. Oh, and LeVar Burton, he was both Reading Rainbow guy and on Star Trek. So that was like the first time in my life where I was just like, oh, they could do multiple things. They don't just live in that show. Yeah,
Right.
I was really young.
Yeah,
Sure.
the idea that actors can do more than one thing, or
or that they were just people and they weren't just made
characters on a
into
TV
people.
show.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's a certain subset of people who grew up watching Reading Rainbow, for whom LeVar Burton is like the biggest star on this show. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
you grew up watching Reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton is like a huge star to you. But if you were too old for Reading Rainbow, then you're just like, that's the guy from Star Trek and Roots.
So
Right.
when I was watching this earlier, I was noticing, I was paying real close attention to like the order of the cast list, and he's pretty close to the top of like the
Big names.
Yeah.
the names on the thing,
I
so
think it's
like,
actually I think it's in alphabetical order.
is it?
After Patrick Stewart. I
After
think
Patrick
it's
Stewart?
alphabetical. I could be
Okay.
wrong. Let's check what's about to happen right now.
Well, I know it's definitely Patrick Stewart's first, but
It might be Stewart, Frakes, and then everybody else in alphabetical order.
because I think it is
Patrick
because
Stewart.
we gotta.
Frakes. I did see a picture of him from the current Picard
And
show.
then it was like Burton, so I was like, wait,
I think from here on out it's in alphabetical. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Crosby,
Steele.
Dorn, yeah. So that's why
Then here
he.
comes
So yeah,
Nash.
you're right.
But you're not wrong. He was one of the more famous people on this show. You know,
Yeah,
who the
okay.
fuck had ever
No,
heard
I
of?
didn't-
No one had ever heard of Marina Sirtis, but people knew
Yeah.
who LeVar Burton was.
Will Wheaton probably was one of the more famous ones because everybody
Really?
knew him from
Yeah,
Stand By
from
Me.
Yeah, he'd been in Stand By Me.
Stand By Me, and
I totally forgot that he
he
was in that.
he was a kid star. So I mean,
He was.
yeah, I mean, I actually
You
knew
didn't give us.
who
You
he
didn't give
was.
us the stats.
I know. I didn't.
Son,
Let me
because
give you
we
the
were talking
specs
about
real quick.
credits.
The last season 1, episode 4, The Last Outpost, original air date October 17th, 1987. The Enterprise makes a confrontational first contact with the piratical Ferengi race as their 2 ships are ensnared by a presumed dead planet ready to judge them. Erin, what do you think the IMDb rating of this episode is?
Ooh,
First introduction
I'll
of the
say
Ferengi, become a very
Ferengi.
popular race.
Thanks for the Blue's Clues. Then I'll give it a 7.1.
May, what do you think?
6.5.
Oh.
Anybody else?
I'm gonna go low. I think it's like a 5.5.
I'll give it a 6.2.
I'm gonna give it a 5.7.
Wow, you guys are really scraping the barrel here.
This
I'm gonna give
it.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
watched this episode. It's pretty much crap.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to give it a COVID-19.
Oh. Wash your
6.3.
hands.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Jake,
Yeah.
you are
guys
the winner.
all.
Wait, what was it?
6.3.
6.3.
Haven't
Yeah.
even seen the episode.
You guys really shit on this episode. You're like,
A little
ugh,
bit.
5.
I mean,
It's one of the legendarily bad episodes
Oh, is it?
of the show. Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't
Well,
even
it's
know
fun.
that, and I watched it, and it was like, oh man, like the Ferengi are really overdoing it in there.
Yeah, they were
Well,
really chewing the scenery.
Yeah. So you guys want a little context on this and the Ferengi and what this whole thing is all about?
I love
Aaron, would that be
context.
helpful to you? Do you want
Sure.
context or no? I can go either
Do
way. I
it.
really don't care one way
We're
or the
stuck
other.
here with you anyway. Let's do it.
You're not stuck with me. You're stuck far away from me.
Virtually stuck.
Usually you're stuck with me, and then I just feel like I can talk as much as I want because what are you going to do? But with this, you could always just unplug your headphones and be done.
Don't give us options. Just give us context.
So they wanted a new big bad to be the sort of main baddies for Next Generation. And Gene Roddenberry didn't want it to be the Romulans or the Klingons. He wanted it to be a brand new alien species that was going to be the main bad guys. So they invented these Ferengi. And the Ferengi's whole deal is that they're all about profit. They're like hardcore capitalists.
Mm-hmm.
And money is all they care about. But this episode is so bad, and the Ferengi in general just seemed like so lame that they decided to not make them be bad guys anymore. They turned them into sort of comic relief characters, which they will become sort of later on in the series and in Deep Space Nine, especially. So this is sort of a fizzle. This is sort of a misfire of an episode where they're trying to set these guys up to be the next big bads. And it just, nobody bought it. And everybody thought, well, that didn't really work. Let's come up with another idea, which is how they invent the Borg, which ended up becoming the real sort of nasty bad guys of Next Generation.
It's like trying to make goblins like the evil
This is
guy.
the Context Corner.
Cool.
There are a
That was
couple more episodes in season 1 where the Ferengis are the bad guys, but after season 1, they no longer are seen as like a menacing.
Is that an appropriate touch that Jordy did right there?
Jordy's very hands-on.
That was very
like-
handsy.
That was like, I mean, that would be a medium.
Why is that
Alright.
guy's thing so low? It seemed like bad positioning for that console. He was almost on his
Jordy had it
knees.
built special that way. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Every time I watch something these days, all I do is notice how close people are standing to each other, whether they're hugging each other.
Right.
Like,
All these things we can't do now.
yeah, I'm just like, oh, look how
lot of
close
stuff.
those people are. Like they're
Yeah.
right next to each other.
Yeah.
Matt, you were really deep in this coronavirus quarantine part. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen each other in a while. It is a little hard.
Well, I saw you yesterday, so that's not really true. But
Well, sure.
but we
each
were
other.
very careful.
Yeah, we were very
We
careful.
maintained our 6 feet distance.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What I like about Next Generation is like you can kind of tell that they have like theater acting experience. You're just like they're really like inhabiting this world, this reality. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
Riker does sort of stand like he's on stage, and it's always awkward. You never know quite how to pose yourself. Should you cross your arms? Should you put them in your pockets? And generally, people just say put them down by your side. You know.
But look at Picard. He's like moving around a ton. Like, I don't know. I feel like when you're on TV, they're just like, okay, you walk in, you stand there, deliver your lines, and walk out. And they're like using the whole bridge like it's like a stage.
Mm.
Yeah, totally
Wait.
agree.
I mean, they're not acting like they're at an after-hours cocktail lounge anymore, like they were on the original show.
Right.
Super cash and all swagger. It's like, oh yeah, these are kind of more like astronauts and
That's
people who are
interesting.
very capable.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
I hadn't
they
thought
kind
of that.
of have a more sort of military strictness in this one, whereas like the last one, there was military, but there was everything. They were leaning on everything. Like Kirk wouldn't even
Yeah.
sit in the chair, right? Like he would just be like, "I'm half in, I'm half out. I might be sitting on you, I might not be. I don't know."
Honest, that's how I drive though, so I could totally see a captain being like, "No, I can't sit in this like a normal chair. I have to have my lean on."
You guys
He
have
just
any
has like
names
one
for the
foot
upgraded
dangling.
screens?
But
You know
Do
what?
you have
Speaking
updated
of,
names for the screens? Are they like Screeny 2.7 or something like that?
Oh, we saw Screenies.
Son of Screeny is a definite
A real
disappointment.
yeah, really.
Mm.
that is a good question. Yeah, it was one of the first things we noticed. It's like, where's Screeny? That's not Screeny.
That is not my hashtag.
Who
Not
the
my
fuck
screen.
is that?
Not my Screeny.
I didn't vote
Hashtag.
for that. I didn't vote for him.
So you didn't like the Ferengi, Erin? You were just
They're gross. Wait till there's one space like right up on you on the
sure
screen.
with their teeth and everything. Oh, that do you guys think they should do like alien head-shaped dildos? You know, like you could have like the Romulan dildo, you could have the Ferengi version.
Ouch.
You know, the Klingon. What? Really? You don't like ridges in?
I think, well, the pointy ears might be a problem.
Oh, sure, the Vulcan. Huh.
I don't want that guy's forehead anywhere near.
That doesn't.
I thought we established that that's what Philippe's penis look like? Like it had ridges like Warp's forehead.
Yeah, I think both statements are true. She yeah.
Ridged and bifurcated.
Well, the quarantine has been treating you well, Philippe. Have you guys been working on making a Corona baby?
We watched a show that we were like looking for things to watch because I don't know, whatever. And then we were like in the mood for something completely brainless, so we watched a show called Summer Camp, which is like a pre-80s ripoff that was like shot on 35 millimeter. The print is terrible, and it was made by an ex-porn director in 1979. And let's just say that shit worked like fucking Spanish Fly over here. That was like all we needed.
We were gonna save that for recommendations, but yeah. It's available on Amazon Prime. Check it out.
Hey guys, I just had to go refresh my beverage. Did I miss anything good?
Yeah.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
That scene that we just saw in the conference room, that's like classic Picard. Like it might be the first time. I don't know if we had a
I think it is. I think that's the first time.
Scene. It is a classic Picard management maneuver. Like whenever they have a problem, Picard likes to get everybody in the conference room and ask them each what they think the right thing to do is, and then he, makes a decision. He's a consensus leader, and he's a very, very good, even though he's a bit of a hard ass in these early episodes, he's a very good manager of people. So much so that some nerd with a business degree a few years ago wrote an actual real world manual for managers. Like it was called something like Managing People the Jean-Luc Picard Way or something like that. And it was like, how do you take the management lessons of Captain Picard and how he manages his people and use them in the real world to manage your people? Which I thought was really like, it's simultaneously nerdy and cool that such a thing exists, because the way they write Picard, he's a really good manager. Like he gets everybody's opinion, and he gives everybody,
that's important.
He gives everybody a chance to be heard, and he takes all of their thoughts into consideration, and then he makes a decision. And it's like, oh, Jean-Luc's actually really good at this.
Now I'm wondering how Philippe
when he needs to make a decision, he does it. He makes his decision, and he doesn't waver in his decision.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sold. Philippe, whenever you run in a starship, I'll be on your crew for sure. I think you would be an amazing manager.
So just to catch you up there, Matt,
I agree.
Philippe was telling us about watching a 80s sitcom called Summer Camp and how that was Spanish Fly.
A movie?
It's a film. It's a legitimate film. It's trying to capture the craze of all the sex comedy movies of the late 70s and early 80s, like a la Meatballs and all that.
So it's like Wet Hot American Summer, kind of?
Yeah, it's got a lot of gratuitous nudity, though. It's really it's really stripped bare, but in some ways, it's better for it, I would say.
It's a fucking masterpiece.
Where did you find this?
Amazon Prime, just scooting around.
And it's got a recommendation from both you and Philippe. That's okay.
There are so many things you could be watching. That's all. That was all I had to say.
It has a really great disco soundtrack, too. And they're all like, summer camp.
Yeah.
And everybody hooks up.
Sean, is this the first time? I did not watch this.
There it is.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
There it is.
He looks pretty clean for a
Got a
Ferengi.
bud on his forehead.
Is this supposed to be the first time they've ever seen a Ferengi?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They ask Data what's all the information you have on him, and they're like, we have very little data. It's mostly just sort of like hearsay, sort of legend. but that they're basically traitors is the way he describes them. But this is the first time a human has seen a Ferengi.
Got it.
Huh.
Behold.
The Ferengi in Deep
And
Space
for some
Nine
reason,
has-
there's kids just hanging out in the conference room. Not sure why.
Picard hates kids.
Well, did he sign up for it on Outlook? No. And he expects it to just be free. Typical management.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like kids. I mean, Data can't figure out how to do a Chinese finger trap.
Yes.
Who can?
Doesn't he have the information? There are YouTubes.
We're not supposed to call it that anymore, guys.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, you're probably right. What are we supposed to call them?
The Corona finger trap.
Corona finger trap.
It's called it's a wicker finger restraint.
Wow, look at these graphics. Do you think they updated that for today or nowadays, or that was how it was originally
I think
broadcast?
this is all original
I
stuff.
think that's how it looked originally.
Wow.
Unlike when we watched the original series where they clearly had upgraded a lot of the effects, I think the Next Generation on Netflix is what it looked like when the original aired.
Yeah.
I don't think they've souped up their effects at all.
It looks really good. I'm surprised.
They did put out like Blu-ray editions of the show that because they shot this show on 35, so they were able to jump it to 4K, I think. So I think you can get 4K Blu-rays of the show, but I don't think they did anything with the effects. I think they just, upgraded the whole show. I could be wrong about that. I'll correction corner it someday.
Yeah.
Well, it looks good.
It does look good.
Yeah. I'm curious how long they spent blow drying Riker's hair.
It's because they've shot it on film, man. That's why it looks so good. Like if you look at Voyager, which by the time they get to Voyager, they're shooting on video.
Yeah.
It does not look nearly as good.
Oh. I never knew they shot this on film. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was
like even
they hadn't switched over yet. They were still doing things on film.
Oh, there's an invisible lightning storm happening.
Yeah, there's essentially an energized cloud in this episode.
This is basically a remake of Arena. Yeah. Aaron, you'll recall Arena. It's the one with the Gorn. Aaron's not.
She's fallen asleep already.
Aaron's left the building. Okay, that's fine.
Can you guys hear us now?
Yeah,
now we can.
Okay, we could. We were talking so much shit, and we didn't realize I'd accidentally muted it. Okay. Dude, the scene with Data and the not Chinese finger cuff thing.
Yeah,
was so ridiculous. I was saying if I was at the sex robot store and I saw that happening, I would not buy Data.
Oh,
he can't even figure out this thing. How can he figure out? How's he gonna figure out
like
where
does trillions of calculations a second? Can't figure out how to what's going on this thing. Okay,
he should be better than that.
Aaron, did you hear Matt's question?
I did, and I answered it already, but it was muted.
Gotcha. Well, this
muted?
episode is essentially the same concept as Arena.
Yes, there's an all-powerful alien
hear me
that is
now?
going to make. Yep, we can hear you now. Jesus Christ, this is a fiasco.
No. Before it was a fiasco. Now we're doing okay. It was just the mute.
Yeah, this is good.
Well, it's because we're trading the mic back and forth. It kind of lends itself to pushing buttons.
The mic is blinking. It's like I don't know if it's on or not, so we're just guessing.
Anyway, I was delighted that when you said Arena, I did know what you were talking about. But now it's all ruined.
Use a racial slur called him a Yankee trader. What's that?
Oh yeah, they're using the term Yankee trader, right?
Well, yeah, it's like an old colonial trader is what he's referring to.
It's not like an Indian giver.
No, that's a different. That's.
We'll have to look that up. not only are they seeing a Ferengi for the first time, but they're seeing him like blown up, like the whole wall.
Yeah, why is his face so big? Like,
He doesn't understand how close to stand next to a camera.
Jesus. Me neither. That's how I look right now. You just don't see it because of the webcams turned off.
Yeah, why is the lighting behind him so blown out?
yeah, why is it just a blank white background? This whole episode's a mess. They were still figuring it out. They didn't know what they were doing yet.
We're a mess. This episode.
This
is a
scene
mess.
right here, guys.
Everything
This
is-
scene right here is god awful. Why am I looking at this? Who directed that scene with that goddamn giant ass face?
Oh, there used to be a glut of movies where humans would be transported to like giant ant world or giant giant fly world. You know, they did a whole bunch of giant movies. So maybe that guy wanted to do one of those movies, but
It's a Honey I Shrunk the Kids kind of Star Trek crossover. Yeah.
This episode was directed by a guy named Richard A. Colla or Colla, Colla. I'm looking at his Wikipedia right now. He directed a lot of TV, Battlestar Galactica, Miami Vice, MacGyver.
Old school Battlestar Galactica, I'm assuming.
Old
I feel
school.
like the big face is actually purposeful. Like
Totally.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
for
perfect.
sure.
But it's terrible.
I'm not sure why. It's
It's intentional. We just hate it.
You
it's
definitely
like
made the
Picard's
choice.
like a Q-tip cleaning out his
Look, he
ear.
could go in his ear
Oh my
right there.
god.
You could jump in ear fuck him right now.
Ferengi ears are like a big deal, as we will learn eventually. Like
They're like their main erogenous zone, right?
they
Or
are
something like that?
they are an erotic zone,
And they can hear things that humans can't hear because they're so large.
Yeah, they have super hearing, basically.
Like the sound of a great deal.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
what?
Yeah, that comes to play later on in this episode, which is the first episode I've ever watched beforehand in the history of Warp. So
Wow.
throwing that factoid out there. Yeah.
Is
Oh,
that
you've been
Philippe's?
burned.
And now you're like, I will never do that.
Never make
ever
that
again.
choice again.
Yep. Huge mistake. I was trying to get Erin to get like, hey, these are what the characters are like, and this is what a typical Enterprise episode, Star Trek Next Generation episode is like. And then she's like, what the hell is going on? Who are these uggos on the screen? Super giant. It was
You could not have picked a worse episode to accomplish
this one's
that goal.
terrible. I was like, this
Yeah,
is
it's
Like you
really
couldn't have
bad.
picked a good one to show.
I know. I forgot. I didn't know that. I forgot this episode completely. And then they go to like one of the worst sets they've done in a while, and it's like, anyway, it's all good. I like how the weapons the Ferengi have later on here. It's like,
Oh, the whips.
so like, they're like so backlot, like whatever they had lying around.
Actually, I like this right now.
What? This?
I like
The dry
this
ice
crystal.
Star
everywhere?
Trek has a dry ice, guy. I was gonna say.
I'm into it.
It's a good look for Riker in that sort of with the back, those clouds going behind him. He looks very manly in this position.
He makes this planet look good.
You need a pill.
Do you guys want to know? You guys want to know what else was on October 19th, 1987, when this episode aired?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is Data
Highway to heaven.
Why is Data standing on a thing like that?
That's where he materialized when he
Oh.
came out of the.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought
they
he
all
was
sort
just-
of when they beamed down, they all sort of beamed into weird positions.
Because of the electrical storm?
So because the person who's doing all this beamed them there in weird positions.
I could think of weirder positions, actually.
Its structure is crystalline and yet styrofoamy.
Yeah.
Did you see how the transporter room was almost full when they went down? It was like, oh, we almost can't support it. It's a good thing they didn't have 2 more people to transport. They just couldn't have done it.
They would do it in shifts. Wow, this set.
They need to
looks
get like the
so-
Chevy Tahoe of transporters, like
The Suburban.
for a whole Mormon family. 13.
Star Trek
What?
never.
Oh no.
Star Trek never does it in shifts.
Jordy's upside down, you guys.
Or are we all upside?
Oh, there they are.
All right, this is amazing. These look like
They're-
something.
Now I like
laser
this episode. Why is he upside down?
It's the same
must
reason
have
why
like that.
Data is up in the trees.
I thought they were gonna help him here when they knock him.
So
down.
their weapons are pool noodles, basically.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
They
like
shoot
rat
lasers.
tails.
Bang.
Oh,
no.
Whoa.
That. Look
Oh,
at
Got
Data.
all of them?
Data's
His
just
arms
like,
up in the air.
Yeah.
Those are highly effective rat tails.
they took all
Cool.
three of them out with one shot. Like that
Uh-huh.
was a good shot.
Don't they have phasers or something?
These are
Well,
their
they-
phasers.
No,
They had-
this.
Oh, our
wars.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They got the
They had
drop
made
on
a deal. They had made a deal to go down there without weapons, and the Ferengi didn't adhere to
Hmm.
the deal.
Mm.
What's all this? Who are these people?
The
Sleepover.
the
I
so
feel like
the,
Aaron. What's happening? Who are
the,
you?
the alien, the super alien has shut down all power on the ship. So they're all of the life support systems are draining.
Oh, so
the
it's cold.
temperature's going down,
Okay,
and they're running
got
out of oxygen.
So
So
those
there's
are
a-
just regular people who are always on the ship. I thought they
Right.
look like refugees or something.
Yeah.
They're just regular
That's what a blanket
Starfleet.
does.
What?
Refugee.
They're the 400 other people who are on the starship.
Sure.
I don't like what's going on right now.
It's like touching Riker's boobie.
It's very Gollum. It's like my precious shiny.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are very Gollum-y.
They are Gollum-y because all they care about is shiny things.
Mm.
They love gold and they love shiny.
Money.
They're like,
Oh, that's why they
ugly
like this
nifflers.
planet. Because it's all crystalline.
No, they're
their,
trapped on this
their
planet,
weapons
just
look like the
just
things
like
that
our
come
guys.
out of like those cans when you like those novelty cans that
Yeah,
like that spring up
snakes.
out at you. Like they're
Uh-huh.
like, woo, hey, this is a can of beans, and you're like, I've never seen a can of beans like this in 50 years, and you're like, oh, I bet there's some kind of snake, springy snakes in there. And there
So
it is.
the Ferengi that's up on the rock that's got Riker's comm badge.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That actor's name is Armin Shimmerman,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
who will go on to play Quark on Deep Space Nine. So he
Oh,
basically makes a
really?
living out of playing Ferengi for about 10, 15 years.
Do you think he was
But he's
the
not
best
supposed to be
Ferengi?
Quark in this episode, right?
He is
Just
not
some-
Quark in this episode, no. He actually plays in another Next Generation episode later on in season 1. He plays another Ferengi. That's another character, but eventually he plays Quark.
Andy plays a non-Ferengi in an episode coming up in a couple of weeks. that we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
see.
Worf. Get him, Worf.
And Data.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, watch out. they're
Ridges
gonna bite
versus
you.
ridges.
Oh,
Oh, Data's a badass.
Data's super strong, and Worf is supposed to be a Klingon badass warrior, and yet they're getting their asses kicked by these shrimpy little Ferengis. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Well,
All right, yeah, Tasha.
Tasha.
It's just this excuse for Tasha to come in and save them.
Save the day.
well, Tasha is also supposed to be a badass, isn't
I
she?
thought they weren't supposed to have their phasers with them.
Well, I guess she brought hers. I don't know.
Well, now they all have them.
Yep.
She brought everybody's.
Yep. She brought all the TV remote controls.
Why weren't they supposed to have their phasers?
They had made a deal to go down there in peace.
She
Okay.
brought enough for the
Ferengi.
whole class. That's important.
Mhm.
One of the other actors playing the one of the Ferengis is Tracy Walters. Who's
Oh.
a classic that guy.
Hmm.
You know who I'm talking about, Matt?
No, I don't.
You don't recognize the name? He's in the Michael Keaton Batman, the first one.
Yeah.
He's Joker's right hand man.
Okay. Sure.
Does that ring a bell?
No. But
That's when he asked
I'm
he asked him for a gun
And then shoots him.
and then shoots him with it.
Yep,
yeah,
that's the guy.
sure. I just haven't seen that movie in 20 years, so I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that's the
exact
actor. But that actor plays one of the other Ferengi.
Yeah.
Of it. That's
Hey
a great
guys.
pick.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Ask Philippe if possums have moved into our house.
I already know the answer because you sent me a text saying that a possum.
I've seen a picture of the possum that
We
moved
have
into your house.
big updates since that text, Matt. It's escalated.
Oh,
Okay.
are there more possums now?
Take it away, please.
So, yeah, there's like at least we don't know how many. I will not put an upper limit on the number of possums that are in our house now.
Stiff
But
that whip.
Yeah,
got
I
you.
know, right? He got excited.
Sorry, Philippe. Go ahead. I just got
no,
distracted.
I was like looking at that whipping too. Yeah, we got at least 3 possums going on.
Are they baby
in the
possums,
house.
full-grown possums?
They are juvenile possums. They are pretty awesome. I actually am kind of falling in love with them a little bit. So
Really, possums look disgusting.
yeah, I don't know. I like that look.
What?
I like that. I like
Do you
that.
like coneheads?
I like that long snout, man, with the nose.
Anteaters.
Yeah, I love that look. It's super cool to me. And anyway, one came in, and I was like, "Wait, did something just come into this room?" Because I was working out on the
thought it was
sunroom,
a cat?
and all of a sudden, something was nibbling on my toes.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
And then it
not
was
good.
like I looked down, and it was a possum, and it was like, I mean, he looked at me like it was kind of like that Pixar movie with the rat in the kitchen and stuff. It was like we kind of had a like moment. So
Did
yeah,
he,
we're kind of like
cook you
besties.
guys dinner later?
I don't know. We're just like we looked at each other and we're like, yeah, we're all in this together, and it's a crazy world, and we just find love where we can. and then I was
So
like,
you've chosen rabies over coronavirus, is what you're saying.
yeah, totally. And then I was like, I can live with 1 possum in my life. And then the next day, I saw that there were like 3 possums. So it's like,
I'm surprised you
And
didn't
do they
freak
live?
out.
Where do they live under the house or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they really like our dryer vent. Like they use that as like a exercise tube.
Oh,
I hear
sure.
like scrabbling in there. But it found its way in because you might recall, Matt, when I was taking care of Bosley, when he got bit in the butt and I had to keep him in the house, even though he's an outdoor cat.
Yeah.
I had to give him meds for several days.
Yep.
Well, one time he tried to break out of the house by clawing a hole in the vent that's on our enclosed porch. So that's the hole in which the possums are now. But we've blocked it now. But before that, there were a few days where I kept Patches would be excited and I would look under wherever she was looking and I would see a possum looking back at me. That happened 2 or 3 times.
I think a possum would kill a cat, right? In a fight. There's no way the cat wins that.
Well, these are like the third of a size of a cat. They're small.
Okay.
They're juvenile.
I'll send some pictures through to the group so you can see.
What do possums eat?
They eat bugs mostly.
Yeah.
They can eat more than their body weight in bugs.
Yeah, they're supposed to be really good for to have around.
Friskies.
Brewskis?
Friskies.
Cat food.
Oh. I'm surprised you guys didn't like freak out. Like if I saw a possum nibbling on my toe, I would not be able to keep it together. You know, like cats are fine, dogs are fine. Those you know, they've been cleared for human contact, but possum is part of the wild animal kingdom.
Who's this motherfucker?
That's the guy who's caused all this problem. The portal.
And what's his deal?
He's so this is a long dead society, and he's basically the only one left. And he's basically brought them. It's like you said, it's like Arena. He's brought them here to see, you know, what these savage people will do. And
yeah, this is some classic Gene Roddenberry nonsense, like
bullshit. Yeah,
they do this stuff all the time.
Now, I know you don't like the front of the heads of the Ferengi, but what do you think about their shiny little headdresses that they wear on the back?
They're like little disco backside thing going.
Yeah.
It kind of is like the Gorn.
Really?
Yeah, well,
they get a lot
flashy outfit.
They get a lot more flamboyant later on. Erin, you will like the Ferengi a lot more when they become more sort of like, we're just crazy, like money loving capitalists, and they start showing up in real crazy outfits and wearing crazy headdresses. Oh yeah, look at those possums! Wow,
yeah, those are some real possums. Oh my god!
Wow, they're in your house.
Yeah,
they're in.
You're not
It was
feeding
funny
them, are
because
you?
Erin was like, because we had seen the possums the day before, and then she's like, "Oh, there's another possum under like the TV."
Oh
yeah, they're
like
down there in the cords and shit. Like,
yeah, and she was like, "Oh, but it looks like a different possum," and and I'm like, "Let's just pretend it's not a different possum. Let's not even entertain that fact. Let's just, it's the same possum."
Well, the second time, the one under the TV was like the second day, and I was like, I thought we got you out, like, because we actually like got it out, put it in a carrier, put it in the yard, and then the next day it was like it got back in, and I didn't know how. And then I was like looking at the photo, like, wait, this one has a rounder face, like, and different details on its ears. But then I was like convincing myself, you know how the camera adds 10 pounds, like maybe it's because I used a zoom lens to do this one, like trying to convince myself it was just one, because I Googled and possums can have up to 20 babies.
I don't think I would be able to distinguish one possum from the next. Even if
that picture with the two, they look exactly the same.
With as much time as I had with them.
Huh.
When you live with them, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
What is this guy playing the guy? What's his deal? Is he a challenge?
Oh, damn.
Well,
his credit.
He's like, I could off you.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Cloris Leachman.
Yep. The late great Cloris Leachman. Daryl Henricks is his name.
Cloris Leachman is still alive.
Oh, is she still alive?
He just killed Cloris Leachman.
Oh no.
He's actually in Star Trek 6.
Is he?
He plays Nanclus. I don't know who that is, but
well done.
There's something about Star Trek where they like bringing people who have been on Star Trek before back.
Yeah.
Hardly anyone is just on Star Trek once. It's like you get into their Rolodex and they just keep calling you back to be on
one
different
big
episodes.
circle jerk.
And I think it must be because if you're good in makeup, like if you're an actor who's good at acting in makeup, that's got to be in somewhat limited supply. So they keep reusing the same people, would be my guess.
Powers restored. They saved the day.
Cloris Leachman is 93 years old.
Hell
Sean.
yeah, she is.
That's amazing.
Oh, well, good for here's the thing. Dr. Crusher calls Picard John.
Jean.
It's the only time she does, instead of calling him Jean-Luc or Captain. Or
why are they doing that? Are they dying of being cold?
They were all dying because the oxygen levels had gone.
I clicked away to look up Cloris Leachman on Wikipedia, and when I clicked back, she was touching him on the face for a reason.
Yeah.
She was doctoring.
Watch the Ferengi in the background this whole time. The way that they jump around, they're really funny.
So one of the objections to the Ferengi was that they are sort of stereotypically Jewish, like the way they are sort of portrayed as being sort of money grubbing, Shylockian savages. So they got some pushback, I think, from like the Jewish Anti-Defamation League and other organizations saying, "Hey, you've created this race of aliens that's pretty blatantly anti-Semitic, so you might want to rethink that." So they never got rid of the capitalism part of it, but they did sort of make them less of less I don't know what caricature. Yeah, less caricature.
Yeah.
They give them a lot more depth as they go along. Because you look at them now and it's just like, what the fuck are they doing?
Only
Yeah.
one way to go with them.
They're like
right
crazy
now, and that's
monkeys.
some depth.
They're literally
just
like
Could be more shallow right now. Oh my god. Stop.
Oh,
Like,
it's
you
just
don't know why it's racist, but you know at least that it's
obviously,
racist. What's going on?
it just feels racist.
It
Yeah,
just feels like
you can't put your finger on exactly where the racism lands, but it's in there. It's in the zone.
yeah. I mean, doesn't this make like two?
And these are the aliens that they thought were going to be the main bad guys.
The
of
big
the-
bads.
This is right after their other racist episode, right? Like
It is.
It is. It is.
they were on a hot streak, man.
Such a terrible. It's such a bad introduction to a species that they were planning to be hugely important to the show, and it's just such a misfire that they were just like, nah, never mind. We're gonna have to come up with a second idea.
Yeah.
They beam a bunch of finger traps over to the
Does
Ferengi.
Patrick Stewart talk about how he felt about the show in the early days? Like, was he into it, or was he like, what the hell am I doing? I used to do Shakespeare, and now these fuckers are dancing around me.
I know the answer to that. Do you really want to know?
I do want to know. That's why.
So he was, I know, but sometimes you're tricking. You're trying to be tricky.
That didn't sound like
this
sometimes
time I'm
you're being
not
tricky.
okay.
Patrick Stewart thought that the show was not going to last more than about, I think they originally signed him up for like 10 episodes or something like that.
Okay.
And he was like, this shit's going to get canceled way before,
Yeah.
So he didn't really think it was going to be successful. And then it was. And then the stories that I've heard about him, there's a good documentary about the making of this show where all of the other actors, Frakes and all the rest of them, they were more sort of like, this is fun and silly and let's just have fun and be silly.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Stewart apparently, because he has this background as a serious Shakespearean actor, he took it really seriously. Like to the point that he was kind of harshing everybody else's vibe. Like, he
I'm harshed a little bit in these early episodes by his vibe.
Yeah. Like he would get mad at people on set for like forgetting their lines or, cracking up and laughing on camera. Like apparently he was a real kind of stick in the mud in the early days of the show, which he has talked about and said it all came from being really insecure because he had never really done a TV show before. And so he was sort of like trying to be a real super professional. And eventually over the course of this first season, the rest of the cast sort of, exactly. They sort of got him.
I'm going to look for when he loosens up. That's going to be fun for me.
Yeah. They got him to loosen up in real life. They got Patrick Stewart to loosen up. And as a result, the writers started loosening up Picard as a character. So Picard becomes much less of a sort of authoritarian hard ass than he is in these very early episodes, because they realized, Patrick Stewart's actually a charming and lovable guy. So if we start writing that into Picard, we know that Patrick Stewart can play it. And so Picard becomes a much more likable person over the course of this first season and a half. So, right, Sean? Wouldn't you agree with all that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That was cool. All right.
It's especially at the beginning, you can tell he's really being serious about everything.
He's uptight.
Super uptight.
Like by the end of the first season, he becomes the cuddly, lovable Picard that we all love.
All right.
Well, we came to the end of the episode, everybody. We made it through. This seems to work. So
we made it through our very first remote coronavirus episode.
I worry that now that we've proven that we can do this, Erin and Philippe are never going to invite us back to their house again, even when the quarantine is lifted.
No, they can't stop us. We know where they live.
It's true.
You guys would have to move.
You guys can just come in the hole that Bosley made.
They can't even keep
route.
They can't even keep possums out of their house.
They're not going to keep us out. Yeah.
We're the original.
So I don't know if we explained, but we put a board up where they that hole is. So they're not coming inside the house, but I'm feeding them outside to kind of encourage them to live in the yard. And like, you can hang here. You just can't come like into my living room.
Yeah, boards aren't going to stop us.
Philippe has to hear him because he's up when they like scratch on the plywood until like he gets a little sad.
Do they make weird?
I named the possum, the first one, Pospatoon, and then after that, I started having an emotional connection with the possum, and then I felt bad because I felt like I was preventing them to get water and essentials in this crisis time when we all need to dig deeper, and so I started feeling bad. So Erin did right by me and put extra kibble and friskies out in the backyard.
And water.
Nice.
Water.
I guess the reduced traffic has probably been very good for the possum
Wildlife.
population.
They're gonna come back. I think there's less things for them to avoid. I think they feel more free to move about. But that's how I first noticed they were even coming in. The very first time I realized that they came in through the hole was the cat's water had paw prints in it. Yeah. And I didn't realize, I knew raccoons did that, but I guess possums do it too. They wash their feet in the water. And then I turned around and I realized there was one curled up by our snow boots.
You said they have litters of up to 20? What if there's more than 3?
Googled. You know those pictures where there's like a bunch of them on mom's
hanging
back?
on.
I want to see that. I wish that would happen to me.
Wow.
So basically what you're saying is that you guys now have a possum. You own possums. You have possum pets.
Because when took the picture and he realized there were 2, then he heard a rustling and realized there was another one like behind him.
Yeah. They're going to become an animal wildlife sanctuary.
Yeah.
You know there's got to be at least 10, right? It's not just the 3. There's got to be more.
Yeah. Yeah, we're expanding our minds. We're opening our minds.
So when you guys watch us on Possum King and then like next year, just remember where it all began.
Yeah. You guys gonna start selling tickets to your backyard to hang out with the possums?
Yep. It's a sanctuary.
You guys will become
Carol Baskin voice going. I'm gonna get some thematic clothing and some music.
You gotta start doing bad drugs.
Yeah, you gotta start doing the meth.
Yeah, not the good drugs, the bad drugs.
I haven't watched that Tiger King yet. Everybody.
Neither have I.
Nathan keeps telling me I should watch
great.
it. I haven't
It's
watched
great. We're halfway through.
I've heard it from several people that it's great, and I have to watch it.
Yeah.
So real quick, here's what was on TV on October 19th, 1980.
Highway to Heaven.
ABC had MacGyver, and then Monday Night Football. Redskins, Cowboys. Redskins won 13-7.
Nice.
Sean knew that.
Right. Yeah.
CBS
I keep track of 87 football games.
CBS was sitcoms. CBS had Kate and Allie, Frank's Place, Newhart, Designing Women, and then at 10 o'clock they switched to drama. At 10 o'clock they had Cagney and Lacey, a new episode of Lacey.
Yeah, I like Cagney.
It's interesting that you have it as
Cagney and Lacey podcast.
Yeah,
Cagney did Lacey'd.
Yeah. I did a whole thing on Twitter a couple weeks ago about the best theme songs of the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Cagney and Lacey was on the list. Cagney and Lacey has a terrific theme song. And then NBC had Alf and the Hogan.
Oh yeah, it did. That's what I was watching. That's why I don't know anything about Star Trek. I was too busy watching Alf.
And then after Alf was the Hogan family with
I used to watch that.
Jason Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
And then
when Sandy Duncan was after
Valerie was gone.
Must have been after Valerie left. And then at 9 o'clock they aired a movie called Strange Voices, a TV movie called Strange Voices. That's what was on October 19th, 1987.
Erin, would you do an Alf podcast?
Sure.
Oh, because Matt was like, no way, not Alf.
I loved Alf. I loved Alf almost as much as I loved Pee Wee Herman in those years.
Whoa, wow, that's a lot of love.
I had an Alf doll. I was religiously made sure I was available during that time slot.
Emotionally as well. I'm
was
here
it
for you,
Alf. Was it the Alf doll where he said things? Like, did he have a
No, but my Pee Wee Herman doll said things so much that I actually broke it and started talking high pitched. And then I got a replacement, and the same thing happened. Glitch.
Wow.
Yeah, I still have my Pee Wee doll.
What we don't know is you were
And my Alf doll. They're safely tucked away in my parents' house, but they still exist.
That would be amazing to see.
My mom bought Alf on DVD because she knew how much I liked the show back in the day.
You're a real Alf head.
I don't get it, but I'm proud of her anyway.
Yeah. That's a good mom.
Exactly.
I was into it. I was 7 years old?
Yeah.
Good times.
You should make one of your kids cosplay as Alf. Or both of them.
Cosplay?
Yeah.
You just do a Halloween costume. You know?
Yeah, sure. Well, she wants it more than during Halloween. All the time.
All the time.
Kids, I've got mommy.
Elf anymore. Shut up. Put the elf costume on. Run around the house trying to eat the cats.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Warped, the completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast.
Yeah.
Please go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts to rate, review, and subscribe. You're quarantined anyway. You don't have anything better to do. Take 2 minutes out of your life and go do that for us. We would really appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram at Warped the Podcast, on Twitter at Warped Trek. You can follow me at Host Warped. You can follow Minh to learn about our Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu podcasts and live streams at Wet Maynard. You can go to Patreon, become a Patreon, give us some money, and get access to bonus episodes and additional content. Sean, back to you.
So I think we're probably.
I'm not going to do any of those things.
It's not for you. It's for the possums.
To say that.
You already give us money.
You need us. Yeah, you buy us food every couple of weeks.
That's true. So. Not anymore.
I think we should all. We're all gonna text Erin and Philippe our addresses, and then they can just have whatever they're eating. They can just have some delivered to each of us as well, and then we can all communally eat the same food while we're watching the same Star Trek episode.
Then it'll have to be Taco Bell. That's the only thing available.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's gonna be. We got to find something that is equally distant to all of our locations.
Well, that's perfectly fine. Like we're above Taco Bell.
Yeah, like you said that like you thought we were going to be like, no, not Taco Bell.
Yeah, foiled.
No.
Like, we're on
My
board.
excellent plan was been just taken down by Taco Bell. No, Taco Bell would be great.
Mm-hmm.
I seriously almost ordered Taco Bell the other night, and it was making me nostalgic.
Did you cry in your chalupa?
Yeah, I ended up ordering Baja Fresh instead, which is just
Taco Bell isn't as good when you're by yourself.
Baja Fresh is just snobby Taco Bell, so it was basically the same thing. Anyway,
well, on that note, unless anybody has anything else they'd like to add, my name is Sean.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
And on behalf of May. Good.